All right, we are going to do the last two problems of section 5.2. So we have here that we've got quadrilateral MNPQ similar to quadrilateral WXYZ. They give us two sides. This one belongs to the first quadrilateral. This one belongs to the second quadrilateral. Then we're told that the longest side of the first is equal to 8, and we're supposed to find the longest side of the second. So we know how we do all these problems with similar shapes. We do little, well, in this case, I'm not going to say I don't know which one is little and which one is big. So let's just call it quad MNPQ over quad WXYZ. Okay, so we know that PQ belongs to the first quadrilateral. You see those letters there. And YZ belongs to the second one. So we'll plug those in right here down below, 5 over 7. Okay, then we're told the longest side of this is 8. So I'm going to write long side of MNPQ. And of course that goes in the numerator because we're talking about that quadrilateral. And then the longest side of WXYZ. So we're told the long side of this one is 8. Over the long side of that one, we don't know, so we're going to go ahead and put an X in. Then we're going to solve it by cross multiplying. So we get 5 times X equals 7 times 8, or 5X equals 56. We'll divide both sides by 5, and we get here, doing long division, that 5 goes into 5 once. Bring down the 6, 5 goes into 6 once, with 1 left over, so 11 and 1/5. And we said it was X, but that's actually the longest side. So we're going to say the longest side of WXYZ is 11 and 1/5 units, whatever they are. That's the answer there. Okay, last problem from section 5.2. Use the fact that the triangles are similar. So this triangle here is similar to this triangle here. And just so we can talk about it, I'm going to write A, B, C, and M, and N. That'll make it easier for us. Okay, with 100 feet of string out, a kite is 64 feet above the ground level. So 64 feet above the ground level, that has to be that. And 100 feet of string out. So this whole thing has to be 100. Okay? When the girl flying the kite pulls in 40 feet of string, so she's going to pull the kite in, okay? So the kite's going to move from here to here. So if she pulled 40 feet of string in, that must be 40 feet right there. The angle formed by the string in the ground does not change, meaning these triangles are going to be similar, okay? What is the height of the kite above the ground after the 40 feet of string have been taken in? Okay, so the kite is now moved to this position. They want to know what is the height of the kite. So they're asking for this right here. So we're trying to find out what that is. That's the question mark. And why don't we call it X? Okay, so now we're going to set up. We know that the triangles are similar. So we're going to set up little triangle over big triangle. And let's put in what we know. Well, when I look at the picture, I can see that I'm trying to find this, and that corresponds to this side over here. So I'm going to go ahead and say that MN corresponds to BC. So MN is in the little triangle, BC is in the big triangle. Okay, so we've got those two sides. And why don't we go down below and write in MN is 40, BC is 64. Okay, so now what else do we know in the big triangle? Well, we don't know this side in the big triangle, but we do know this side. So we're going to put that side in, which happens to be AB. So big triangle, be careful here. This is the big triangle, so put it in the denominator, AB. And we know that that is 100. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that in. I see an error I made. When I was putting in this side, I looked quickly and thought that was 40, but actually that's the x, isn't it? So this side here is x, should be over this side 64. Hopefully you already caught that error, so let's change that. These two sides correspond. This one is x, this one is 64. Okay, back to this. We know this piece of the triangle is 100. So we have to find the corresponding side. Well, this is the long one. This is the little triangle. Big triangle, little triangle. So AM is what we're looking for. Okay, AM. And do we know what that side is? Well, it's not labeled right now, but if we know this whole piece is 100 and the little piece is 40, what does that have to be? Doesn't it have to be 100 minus 40? What's left over is 60 because these two together have to equal the whole. So that would be 60. Okay, so we're saying to get this piece here, we're saying 100 minus 40 is 60. Okay, now we can cross multiply. So we're going to multiply like that, multiply like that. So we get here 100x. Here we get 60 times 64. So we get 100x equals, if we multiply that up, we get 3840. When you multiply that, then we're going to divide by 100. And we get that x is equal to, well, that's going to be 38.4. Okay? So when we answer the question, what is the height of the kite above the ground after 40 feet of string have been taken in? Well, we just found this piece right here, so that is the height. So we're going to say the height of the kite above the ground is 38.4, and what are these? Feet. Okay, and that concludes section 2.